Hello friends, Clage back with another Punishing Grey Raven video today, and we get to do, again, one of my favorite things to do during the patch. No number crunching, no rotation testing, no 2 hours of your life gone because I can't shut the hell up. There is only GAMBA just pulling on the gacha, so I need to get some copies of Veronica, her weapon, and her cub because I'm a filthy whale and need a triple S version of every new character, and so we are once again going to go into the GAMBA mines and see what happens. So for those of you who've never watched my roll videos before, I do keep a spreadsheet of every single character that I roll just for my own masochistic purposes and to make myself feel even worse about an economy that's already in shambles because, yeah, buddy, gotcha games. So anyway, we're going to go for 4 copies of Veronica. That gets us triple S with the pain cage shards on top of it, and then her weapon and her cub. So you're not here to listen to me yap, even though that's what I'll do for the majority of this, but you're here to watch the fun stuff. So let's start hitting the button and see what we can get. So let's get the less exciting stuff out of the way, go after our cub. I may get a couple copies of the cub. I need to research and see how good it is. Usually I just get 1 copy of each cub, but I'm starting to lean towards maybe getting an extra one just for the extra skills. Alright, that was nice and fast. No complaints. So, roll through. Alright, cool. She has a badass looking cub, though. That's a really cool design. I'll be curious to see how it looks in animation with its various attacks and stuff. But good looking cub. Alrighty, next we need a weapon. Empyrean Wrath. Good name for a weapon. I like it. Alright, let's see if I can manage to not brick the weapon roll. I had to get some resonances to build up a couple other characters because I was redoing some stuff and went to roll on the banner. Alright, well, we're going to find out real quick here. I'll finish that story in a moment. Alright, can I hit a 4 and 5 today? Can I get a B minus? I sure can. Excellent. Alright. Hard to argue there. Alright, cool. Nice and simple. Alright, so let me get my calculator out because I forgot to do that because I just woke up. For those of you who don't know, I'm a graveyard kid. My wife works overnights, so I have been on a graveyard schedule for a long time now, and my caffeine is just now kicking in, and sometimes I forget to do things when I record first thing during the day, which is why I normally don't record guides and other things first thing during the day, but you're getting unfiltered Glade today, whether we all like it or not. But, alright, 10,000 cards deep, not a bad start, can't hate it, so let's go on to the main event here and get things going. So make sure we're on the right banner. Looks like it. All right, 4 copies. If even one shows up early, I'm happy, and even if it doesn't, that is fine. I'm used to it. But anyway, hope y'all's rolls have gone well. I haven't had much of a chance to really look at Veronica's stuff. All right, well, good enough. Cool. Well, that was fast. Rock on, bucko. All right, well, 1 down. And that was, what, 2 more 10 pulls? So that's plus 5,000. All right, well, we are already having a good day. We are already off and running. God bless. All righty, cool. All right, 3 to go. It's going to be really funny because that's going to be the only early one, and the rest of this is just going to be incredibly anticlimactic while I pull to pity a bunch of times. But, again, for my salt, anytime I get a single early copy of the 4 I go hunting for, that's a successful roll setup. Like, that's already a massive discount. And that one came super early. That was like, what, only 19 or something pulls in? I didn't pay attention when I first looked, but anywho, good stuff. As I was saying, I was trying to get some weapon resonances to redo a couple setups to test some new things in Warzone, and just went and picked one of the few 6-star weapons I don't have for characters, or characters I don't have just for collection purposes and stuff, and managed to brick the weapon roll. All right. I think that was early, wasn't it? How many was that? Let's see. I came in the middle, so that's definitely early. All right, I got to go back. Man, this is what I get for recording when I first wake up. All right, let's see. Where is our history here? All right, so okay, so there's the one I rolled. So then we were at 9, So 19, 29, 39, 49. Okay, slightly early. Slightly early. But still counts. All right, so that was 5 more 10 pulls. Am I counting right today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, cool. So not quite the full 15K, so that is 12,500 more. All right, 2 more to go. Hey, 2 early pulls. That's great. That is a good start to my Friday. I have no complaints there. Especially because all I did was stress last night because, for those who aren't aware, I'm a Midwest kid. And I grew up watching the Cubs, and I know sports ball has nothing to do with PGR, but if you don't pay attention to sports, MLB playoffs are going on right now, and I'm old and have high blood pressure, so that's not doing me any favors, but hopefully I don't just roll over and die by this weekend with the stress of more playoff games coming. So if guides suddenly stop, you can blame the Chicago Cubs. Send all complaints to Addison and Clark. Anyway, all right. Looks like this one's going to go the distance, and that is fine. Like I said, two early pulls is baller. That's fantastic. Absolutely zero complaints whatsoever. So my plan is to work on Veronica throughout the weekend, and my hope is that I will have the guide done and up for you guys hopefully Monday or Tuesday. It's certainly not going to be as early as I wanted, but with the test server being a very, very outdated version of the character, I just didn't want to do testing on a version of the character that was only going to end up giving me bad information. There's just nothing to gain from that, and it would have honestly been a waste of time, and I'd be going back and looking at my notes and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. It was just going to be a giant mess if I tried to use the test server to figure this out, and there's already enough guides out there that just give the most bare bones information without a lot of testing, and you guys know that's not how I operate. Like, if I do a guide, I'm doing the thing, and my guides are never going to be for everyone, and they're way too long and verbose for a lot of people, but I value proper explanation and proper information over all else, and if that costs me views and you know, recognition of the channel, well, so be it. As long as the information's correct, that's all I really care about, end of the day. So, as you can tell, I would not be good at doing this YouTube thing for a living if it was my actual everyday job. But thankfully, it is just one of a few hobbies that happen to provide me a very, very modest amount of extra income that mostly goes directly back into PGR, so I can do stuff like this and, you know, triple S new characters, but all right, so there's our last copy. Cool. So let me add that up. So that's 15K more, giving us a grand total 57,500. That is not bad. That is well below above rate. So that's actually our most successful one since Vera and Selena. So nice, excellent. That is a 23,000 black card discount. Acceptable. All right, well, I need to get this lovely new amplifier built, start studying, start labbing. This guide's going to be a little different because we are officially in truly uncharted water now. There is no information out there. There's not a billion rotations out there. There's not months of experimentation and testing from the Chinese server. We're on our own. We got to figure this out on our own this time. So, most of the guide will be a similar structure. I'm still going to go over what her best equipment and all that stuff is, but just know that whatever I end up showing for rotations are not going to be, here is your optimal rotation, this is all you need to learn. Rotations going forward in guides are going to be much more about setting a baseline of the idea of how to play the character, because no matter how much I test, how much I do stuff, and what amazing tech I might be able to find in my own testing, it's not going to cover how the character evolves. Like, I've already seen multiple evolutions on Bianca's rotation since she came out, and she's only been out for, what, a few weeks? Same thing's going to happen with Veronica and other characters going forward, so just be prepared for the guides coming up and future guides to to not have gospel rotations on them. They're going to be much more, hey, here's the concept of how the character works. We're going to try and build it out from here as a community. So just something to keep in mind as I bring new guides and stuff, because there's not going to be nearly the reference material to go through and give you guys hard and fast, like, all right, here it is, here's the rotation, this is the way. Like, nah, that's not going to be it for a while, probably ever again. But that's the fun part, is now it's about my own research, my own testing, and hopefully finding a few other people who do guides or other community members who really dig deep on new characters to get you guys the best possible information. But I can't do that till I start actually reading your kit and writing notes and writing a guide, so I should probably get to work on that. So as always, appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. If you want to do the YouTube garbage, like, comment, subscribe. It's always appreciated. It's never necessary. And since it is Friday, I will be doing the Super Metroid Cross Link to the Past randomizer on my Twitch stream. That's what I do every Friday night over on my Twitch stream. It is what I personally call my most entertaining stream of the week. So if you want to come by and have some laughs while I play this same randomizer for the 500th, 600th time and have a few cocktails while doing it, feel free to drop by. So I'll leave my Twitch link in the description, as I do with all my vids. But that's going to do it for this one. Good luck on your rolls. Good luck figuring out Veronica. And like I said, I will have the guide out for y'all as soon as I can, hopefully by Monday or Tuesday. So y'all have a good weekend. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.